We have discussed the properties of the cathode ray. Now, one of the property of cathode ray is that it can ionize the gas through which it passes, right? And after going through the properties, we can conclude that the cathode ray consists, we can say cathode ray is a fast moving stream consisting of negatively charged particles, and these particles were known as electron by J.J. Thomson. Now, next is topic is our determine the charge to mass ratio of electron, and this experiment was done by J.J. Thomson. Now here have a look on the diagram. At first we are going to determine the charge to mass ratio, and this was done, experiment was done by J.J. Thomson. Now he just built a setup. Now here we can see that here we have got the anode and cathode, right? This is the this is the cathode here connected to the negative terminal, and this is the anode here, right? The anode is being perforated, or we can say a hole is been there so that it can be focused into one point. Now when the external voltage is applied, high voltage, right, the cathode ray is being generated and it is going to follow this path, right? Now the cathode ray will be in all direction, but this hole is there, it will be just channelized through this hole and will be focused in one path, right? Now when J.J. Thomson has built a setup, okay, now this ray is made to fall on a screen which is a phosphorescent screen which has got a coating. When we say phosphorescent, it means it has got a coating of zinc sulfide, right? So when this ray is made to fall on this screen, right, so the scintillation, or we can say the fluorescence, appears at the point B, right? So here the point B is when we can say fluorescence appears when no external electric and magnetic field applied, right? When there is we can say there is the absence of electric field and the external electric field and the magnetic field, the cathode ray will directly strike at the point B, and there will the fluorescence or a glow or a bright glow will be observed, right? Now generally it is a greenish colored glow when it has been fluorescence zinc sulfide. So here we just simply saying that a glow will be there, a bright ray or spotting will be observed here. Now, the J.J. Thomson, to determine the charge to mass ratio, he applied one by one electric field and then magnetic field, second time and third time he applied both together. Now, this first B point was observed when there was no external electric field and magnetic field. Now, when the external electric field was applied, this is the plus terminal, this is negative terminal, that means this plate is positively charged, this is negatively charged. So it was observed that when the external electric field is applied, at that time the cathode ray got deflected. Now it is not going to strike at point B, it will strike at point A, right? So at point A, what will happen then? Fluorescence will be observed. Right, the screen will show the glow, it will show us spotting here at the point A. Right, now when we remove, the third case was, this is the first one, when the external, there was no external electric field, magnetic field. This point A is when the electric field is applied, electric field applied. Now the electric field has been removed and a magnet, or we can say the external magnetic field is being applied by placing the horseshoe magnet. Now what is observed that next case, what will happen, the cathode ray is going to strike at point C. So this is point C, that means here the fluorescence observed when magnetic field is applied. I think this A, B, C I think is clear. So we have got three cases here. First one is when no external electric field and magnetic field is applied. That time we will get the spotting or white color glow or bright glow will be observed at point B. When the only electric field is applied, at that time the cathode ray is going to strike at point A, and when only magnetic field is applied, it is going to strike at point C. Right. Now to determine the charge to mass ratio, what he did, he just applied both the electric and magnetic field together. That means electric field and magnetic field. He placed both of them together, and what will happen then? When the both field are going to be applied, the cathode ray, right, it will show the deflection between the point A, C, right? It is just similar to the needle, right, of a stabilizer, which is just fluctuating between the two ends. So in the same way, the ray will, we can say the spotting will be observed between A and C. Right. So how we maintain it, just by adjusting the magnitude of the electric field and the magnitude of the magnetic field. Electric field and magnetic field was adjusted in such a way that the cathode ray again strikes at point B. Right. So by adjusting the electric field, external electric field and magnetic field in such a way that again the point, or we can say again the cathode ray strikes at point B, he determined the charge to mass ratio. So it is this way, or Coulomb per gram inverse. Inverse. So this is the ratio which he obtained, charge to mass ratio. Now students, the cathode ray is showing the deflection, right? Now can you tell that the magnitude of deflection will depend on which factors? The deflection of the cathode ray is going to depend upon the mass of the electron, that the mass of the particle which is negatively charged. If the mass will be more, right, that means the particle is going to be heavier. So if the particle will be heavier, then what will happen? The deflection shown will be minimum. Lighter the particle, greater will be the deflection, and when it is the heavier particle, that time deflection is going to be less. Second, it will depend upon the charge on that negatively charged particle, that what is the magnitude of the charge on that negative particle, right? So greater will be the charge, greater will be the its attraction or its affinity or its interaction toward the, we can say, toward the field which is being applied. And third, it will depend upon the magnitude of the external electric field and the magnitude of the uh, magnetic field. So the three factors on which deflection of cathode ray depends of deflection of cathode ray depends. First is, we can say, the mass of particle. So here particle is the negative particle, negatively charged particle here, that is electron here. Second, it will depend upon the magnitude of negative charge on it. And third, it will depend upon the magnitude of external electric field and magnetic field. So here it is going to depend inversely, right? That means lighter the particle, more will be the reflection. Or we can say lesser is the mass of particle, greater will be deflection. Magnitude of negative charge here again depends. It is going to depend directly. Greater the magnitude of the negative charge, greater will be the, we can say, the interaction of it with the that of the magnetic field or electric field, and magnitude of external electric field also, it is going to depend directly. That is, greater the magnitude of external electric field and magnetic field, the greater will be deflection shown by the cathode ray.